Thank you for the like, whoever gave one. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name, but is it Anish Bhagat? Again, I'm very sorry if I said that incorrectly. Um, Also, to any, thank you for the 2 likes so far. If it would not be asking too much, might we get it to uh, 6 or more? Thank you for the subscription. Again, I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. C3 Der Pause Nature Clause. Um, Okay, you're from India. Did I get even remotely close to pronouncing your name correctly? If not, please um, feel free to correct me on that. Hello, Sophia. You don't speak English, you say. Well, I was gonna say, um, you seem to be speaking it pretty fine from what I can see. Um, Cedar? Okay, I will call you Cedar. Um, we're up to 3 likes. I'm wondering, would it be possible to get that number up to 6? Um, so now that I've got a bit of an audience, what should we chat about? Um, I'm always looking for conversation topics. Also, does anybody have any suggestions for growing this channel? Um, Things that you think might get me more viewers as well as subscribers. Well, that was embarrassing. The Pred Hunters are on their way. What do you mean by that? Okay. What do you mean by all types of content? Unfortunately, because of how the algorithm works, that's not really gonna do it. Unfortunately, when you're just starting off, you kind of have to be, you have to pick and choose what you're going to discuss. Um, I might see if I can make it to 96 subs by the time this live stream is over. Um, we'll see. Thank you. I'm probably going to be in. I'm probably going to need a new pair this year. At the rate in which my vision is declining, I typically need a new pair every year, and that's about 500 US dollars at the minimum, I want to say. So yeah, they're pretty expensive. That's just the way it goes. Nothing you can do about that. Well, I'm kind of just, as the saying goes, flying by the seat of my pants, just doing whatever. But I would say pick topics, something you're interested in, and just have at it. Um, and maybe even ask yourself, what are some things you could do that you believe might be different from how other people are doing it. Uh, Therian YouTube videos. I'm not sure what that means or what those are. Also, your name is very familiar to me. I feel as though you've I would, but to do that I'd have to leave the stream. And it might disconnect if I did that. Um Something I would suggest also, although though this hasn't actually helped worked out for me at all, is reach out to people that you know. Try to get them on board. Uh, See if they'll help you out. Um, Pretty much nobody that I know, with some exceptions, have been interested in doing that for me. Not to sound selfish or anything, but was a little bit frustrated by that. Because it really is just as simple as leaving a like and leaving a subscription, and you don't have to come by all the time if you're busy. It's just, anyway. Maybe I am sounding a little bit selfish there. I guess I just find it frustrating because of the fact that it really is that simple. Subbing and liking. I mean, unless you don't like the person that you're watching, then don't do it. But I feel like, you know, but maybe I'm in the minority. I'm not literally this way, but I'm kind of a take my shirt off, for someone else. That kind of person. Always have been that way. Alrighty, take your time. I'm not going anywhere. I really should have considered doing this stream off of a computer. I don't have one myself, but my mother has one, which she allows me to use pretty much whenever I want to. So, I probably should have done this on there instead. I don't know if that would impact the amount of viewers I get, but I don't know. Maybe people would take me more seriously if I wasn't filming everything on a phone. I also need to find out when the majority of my subscriber base would be around to watch streams. Because I got a pretty low turnout. Um, and I'm wondering why that is. I'm sure there's a multitude of reasons as to why that is, but I'd really like to know the answer. Because if I knew why, um, maybe I could grow even faster. Hmm. Um, guess I could ask, what's the weather like where where people are from? It's once again dreary and rainy out where I'm at. All right, one second. Welcome back. So I did look up what you were talking about. Looks interesting. Would you end up getting or cooking cedar? Always a good choice. I take it you ordered it rather than made it. Making pizza is something I wish I knew how to do. Would be a pretty good skill to have. I'm told it's not that difficult. I used to know somebody whose parents would make homemade pizza every Friday. It was quite good too. Probably some of the best I ever had. Of course, it's also cheaper if you make it yourself. One second, gotta turn the camera off. I don't think people would want to see me walking up the stairs. Might be disorienting. But yeah, it can be cheaper too. Um, because you figure you could set it up to where you're making enough sauce and dough to get a decent amount of pizzas out of it. And you can even make it so that if it's just you, it's a personal instead of a medium or large. If I was any good at cooking, I would probably be uploading um, content of that sort, but I'm not. Thank you. Um, my original thought was to have her be the focus of my videos, which of course didn't end up happening. I'm probably going to leave the camera off for a bit. Hope that's not a problem. I don't think that my face is particularly interesting to look at. What do I know? Okay. Ooh, apologies. Alright. What do you know? Yes, that is my cat.
Yes, that is my cat. Yes, that is my cat. Yes, that is my cat. Yes, that is my cat.
Weird.
Yes, that is my cat. Yes, that is my cat. Yes, that is my cat. Yes, that is my cat.
Is there an echo?
Is there an echo?
Sorry about that. Is there still an echo? It's because I went on YouTube and I don't know why it echoed, but it did. Oh, okay. You were saying yeah to something else. Hmm. Her name is Baby. Should not have been doing that. Yeah, she's about 10, I think. I'll be honest. The reason why I don't include her in my videos is because I can't think of anything to do. Uh, Two loud dogs. Well, dogs are nice too. I had a dog once, long time ago. Cocker Spaniel. I imagine he's no longer living. But yeah. Ooh. Jeez. Okay. Australian Shepherd. I do believe I've seen one of those before. Or am I thinking of something else? Oh, yes, I have seen one of these. I have seen Australian Shepherds before. Very pretty. Love the fur patterns. Corgis are cute too. You said a corgi mix corgi and what? Let me see. A Queensland. A Queens. I hope I spelled it correctly. Mm. Again, pardon me. You know what? I will make you a mod. As soon as I remember how. Here we go. I'm gonna need mods anyway. A Blue Queensland. I remember I saw a one time an Irish wolfhound. Couldn't believe my eyes. They are massive. So I take it. Do you live on a farm? Yes, they are. I want to say they're the biggest dog, but I could be mistaken. Uh, Apparently, it's a Tibetan Mastiff, which looks very strange. Look at that! Look at all that fur. It's like if there was a dog version of Chewbacca. Oh, is it? Uh, Most likely the most famous of big dogs. Ah, well, well, well. There you go. If I had to guess, Great Dane is probably one of the most famous breeds. Hmm. Just kind of hoping I'd get up to at least 6 likes, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, that's the same for Saint Bernards. It's a real shame. Ooh. Wish I had a camera for this computer. Yes, actually. I don't have to wait. Uh. Okay. Let me see. Weird. Huh. Alrighty. I'm probably gonna mute this just for a second or two. Okay. I know probably nobody's watching at the moment. But I am getting sick and tired of the Democrats barely doing a thing. You question, you question, you question. You file lawsuits. But you look weak. You look weak and unconcerned. I don't think you truly understand how big of a fire there is at the moment. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. They need to act as though this is the end of the world. And treat it as such. I mean, hey, of course they don't have to worry. They get well paid through taxpayer money. They, my cat is being a little brat right now. Sorry about that. You know, they get health care. They earn a salary. The only thing they have to worry about is potentially being jailed. So I don't think they're really looking at it from the perspective of people who aren't in their positions, who don't have their cushy job. I think they need to look at it as if they were poor themselves. But they're not doing that. They can't separate themselves from their own lives and really look at it from the perspective of everybody else. Absolutely unacceptable. The whole we know we're better than you. But what are you doing about it? Are you going through every legal avenue that exists to fight? Are you conversing with law enforcement? Trying to get as many of them on your side in case things really do get bad? Are you having secret conversations with FBI? Anyone? Because you know that a lot of illegal things are happening. Are you having those conversations? It wasn't super long ago when elected officials were physically barred from entering into a federal building. And what did they do? They stood there and said, "We have a right to be here. We have a right to be here." Seriously? That situation didn't spark a fire within you? And why is it that the only two elected officials who are traveling around the country getting people motivated. Sorry, I should rephrase that. Why is it only two elected officials doing that? Why? Was it just Bernie Sanders and AOC? Wasn't it all of you doing that? Going around, gathering people, speaking to them every single chance you get. Do you just think that, oh, we'll be able to vote this away? Did you not read that oh so terrifying Not manuscript, but blueprint. You claim to have read it. What, you just decided, oh, well, they made their choice. Nothing we can do. So all you can do is sit and question and record and hope that you'll rile people up to vote our way out of this? No. That is not good enough. And I don't want to hear what else can they do? Oh, their hands are tied. As other people have said, Mitch McConnell was able to accomplish quite a lot when the Republicans were in the minority. He was able to jam things up. You should be consulting with him. Maybe have conversations with him and say, hey, we recognize that you are now aware of how badly you messed up. Help us plan a way to jam up the system, prevent things from going through, buy us some time until we can actually come up with an effective solution. But they're not doing it. Donate to me. Listen to my words. Donate to what? Are you even telling the people what the money they're donating is going towards? Are you? Or is it just have faith in us, donate to our campaigns? Yeah, a lot of us recognize that we need you to have any hope of combating this effectively. But you're not aware of the fact that there's a lot of people out there who still don't know exactly what's going on because it hasn't hit them. Yeah, there was millions of people that protested that day. But what did it do? People are angry. Okay. Is your hope that, oh, well, we're seeing millions of people angry about this, so they're potential voters who are gonna help change all this? Really? You are not treating this like the threat that it is. And I'm wondering if that's because you figure, well, we're perfectly fine. Our families are fine. Yeah, we're being threatened, but we have protection as elected officials. You have protection that a lot of other people don't have. The people that voted for you, that put you in those positions of power. Like honestly, our governors are more effective than any of the other Democrats. They're the ones really doing things about this. And even if they are having secret conversations, don't you think that people have a right to know? I mean, yeah, it's possible that they could drop a bombshell and come out and say, "This is our plan. This is what's going to happen. As soon as it's carried out, everything's going to turn around." But you're not recognizing the fact that people are absolutely terrified out of their minds, scared every single day. I doubt anyone's actually going to hear me say this, and if it is, it's going to be a minuscule amount of people. But I don't think enough people are speaking about this. Though, you'll have your channels where they report the news and they talk about the midterms, 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 midterms. How about that old saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst? I feel like we're at a point where all they're doing is saying hope for the best. They're not preparing for the worst. not even trying to prepare for the worst. And yeah, I understand. Stuff with vice. It's taking a lot of resources, a lot of manpower to try to stand up against it. But it's a distraction from what they're really trying to do. Because while all that manpower is being used, being put into doing that, trying to resist that, the proverbial bank is being robbed. And this is going to sound heartless, and I want to make it perfectly clear. I do not want to see any innocent people harmed. But honestly, we're at a point now where that is probably unavoidable. So you really need to pick your battles. You do what you can to combat all of the problems, and maybe you come up with a way to tackle multiple issues at once. Now, I'm not a politician. I never went to law school. I don't understand how these things work. I'm pretty much an idiot on the subject. But once again, I think the people would be even more inspired than they are now if they were at least screaming as loudly as we are internally, but outwardly in their case. Individuals like Jamie Raskin, Cory Booker, um, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, they're doing they're doing good at speaking out against things. But and this is nothing against my governor. I live in Pennsylvania. No, he's never going to see this. But if for whatever reason he would, or um, this is not a shot towards you, Governor Shapiro, at all. Um, in fact, I think you deserve a lot of leeway given that awful thing that happened to your family. So happy to know that none of you were harmed in any way, shape, or form. I give you a lot of respect. I think you're one of the best leaders we have. In fact, I know you're one of the best leaders we have. And even though I don't live in California and there's certain things to disagree with Gavin Newsom on, that man's doing his job. He's doing his as much as he possibly can to stand against this. It's kind of a shame to see the governors pretty much putting up most of the fight, and everyone else isn't. And they also need to consider the fact that not everybody really knows what's going on because they are so manipulated. And they wouldn't know something was happening unless they heard a loud boom behind them. And I don't mean a literal one, I mean that figuratively. They would actually need to receive a letter and get a call from Social Security telling them your benefits are gone to actually finally have it click in their heads. Oh my God, this is awful. You need to consider the possibility that there's going to still be a lot of people that aren't going to believe what happens. Now, hopefully, that bill won't get passed and so many people won't lose their benefits. Hopefully. But there are other things not being reported on. They're not screaming about it enough. Are they conversing with law enforcement. As I said, are they conversing with every member of law enforcement they can in secret to potentially build an effective countermeasure? Are they speaking with judges? Are they reminding the judges you have the power to deputize? Are they bringing it? I don't know the laws, how the laws really work, but are they, say, bringing in police officers and FBI agents, possibly even retired ones, and saying, hey, we can deputize you to have the authority of the U.S. Marshals so that we can use you as our own police force to arrest and fight this effectively? Are they doing that? There was a video, unfortunately, her name escapes me, from this channel that I used to watch videos from quite often. And on the comment section, when she was talking about how terrified certain people in power are on the Republican side, one person suggested, why not get a GoFundMe together and pay former FBI agents, former cops, I think even former Secret Service agents were lumped in there. Probably, it would possibly have even included former military like veterans. And use that GoFundMe money to pay them to protect those officials. Using that protection to help them find their backbone and vote to impeach and remove. And that was very creative. It's something that can definitely be done. But there's no out of the box thinking right now. And I'm sorry to sound so angry and loud, but why does it feel as though I'm speaking or making more sense than elected officials are? Or these people with channels that have way more subs than I have. They'll laugh and they'll joke about things. And that's all well and good because a lot of you have 100K subs and more. You're making money off this. I'm not. It's not the reason why I wanted to do this. I wanted to reach as many people as possible. So, because I believed that if they heard what I had to say, maybe we could come together. Maybe we could form a little group here. Start brainstorming. Because as has been said, politicians aren't going to save us from this. It's we the people. And as one of the people, I want to be a part of that solution. I really do. I want it badly to be a part of it. Because it does impact me. And because I'm beyond tired of seeing people being hurt and being made to feel afraid. Anyway, I'm sure nobody's going to hear this rant of mine. Nobody's actually watching at the moment. Um, so it's probably all for nothing. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll find a way to split this portion of the stream into its own separate video. Because I really want to get this out there. I'll be honest. If I had enough of a base here, I'd be throwing my hat in and asking people to help me come up with things to basically serve as my sort of not employer base, of course, but to kind of function as my office, to be my advisors. I would be doing that right now because this country is supposed to be set up for anyone to run for political office. And considering how inexperienced and unqualified pretty much one entire party has been, I think I'd be a way more effective uh, probably not president or anything. But, in this day and age, the only thing that gets you elected is money. You have to be rich, which is just despicable. Those jobs should be for the poor. Those jobs should be for veterans. Those jobs should be for the people who suffer the most and know what is needed. Not just for lawyers and public servants. Who's going to serve the people better? Someone who has lived it or someone who's just heard the horror stories? That's my opinion. Let it be somebody like us who runs for political office. Have them be advised and schooled by politicians that are currently in positions of power so they can figure out how the system works and how to best lead and make those necessary changes. It's pretty clear to me America has decided that experience is not necessary. That they want to hear somebody sing a different tune. And as soon as you associate yourself with the establishment, they don't want anything to do with you. So yeah, got that off my chest. It doesn't look like Cedar's coming back, which is perfectly fine. Matter of fact, I think I will go ahead and make that, shall we say, rant into its own video and upload it separately. I think I'm going to start doing that from now on whenever I talk about something that could possibly be considered an interesting conversation or discussion. Um, who knows? Maybe I'll get more viewers that way, more subs. Because once again, for me, this is not about getting enough subs to earn money. This is about getting enough subs to spread the outrage and to show a perspective that's maybe not being made public as much as it should be. Um, and I know I speak for a lot of people who are also angry. I mean, I'm not being affected by anything, at least not yet. But I also think it's stupid to assume that it's not going to affect somebody just because of the color of their skin. The reality is, if you're not rich, you're going to be affected negatively. Unless the skies open up and miraculously these horrible things they really want to do get stopped. I mean, I feel as though we should have ended this by now. And what I mean by ended this by now is I feel like there should have been enough of a coalition, enough of. I mean, I don't know how you would actually do it. I mean, like I had said earlier, if the courts would deputize former law enforcement, deputize anyone they can get with law enforcement experience, and build not an army, but build their own police force to arrest and jail, maybe we could be heading into better times. Because they all recognize this is unprecedented and the laws are being broken. They need to put their heads together and think to themselves, since the laws are being ignored and there's nothing we can do we just throw our hands up into the air and say, well, we tried? No. You never do that. You never do that. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, think outside of the box. You cannot just rely on votes when you know they are actively trying to prevent that from being a thing. Because they know full well that without, shall we say, doing certain things, there's absolutely no way Republicans would win. It would be a landslide victory for the Democrats. Landslide. And like Rand Paul said, the way things are going, this could be, and I don't mean this literally, of course, this could functionally be the end of the Republican Party. It really could. And just think, because if things continue to get worse, which they will, they're done. Like, I truly do believe that the Republican Party will be no more for at least 30 years. That is how bad things are going to get. And that's, in some ways, it's a great thing. But it's also true that not all Democrats are doing everything they can to fight against this and really expose decades old problems, decades long issues. What I mean to say is problems that have been have been around for decades. Um, so yeah. Sorry about that. I was just watching a video. I know I've been gone for a bit. I was kind of waiting to see if Cedar might come back. Um, if you're watching this after the fact, apologies that I didn't wait much longer. But I'm gonna end this. Um, Thank you to all who watched during the stream, uh, asked questions, participated in the chat. Um, and to anyone who might watch after the fact, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe as always. And until next time, take care and have a great rest of your day.